All right, so it's your boy Scott here. I've been sick today, so my throat is sore, my voice is raspy and all sexy. Although that might be up to interpretation. Now, so here's what just happened. I just recorded a video I was super stoked on, and then it turned out I had muted my microphone. My particular laptop has a microphone mute key right next to the volume up key. And this is not the first time I've turned it off on accident. So I got to do this again, which means it should be better and faster. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Here's how to set a static IP in Windows 10, but you can also do it this way in Windows 8 and 7. There's a lot of reasons you might set a static IP, but if you're watching this video, you probably have a reason in mind. Okay, so here's how you do it. Well, at least here's how I'm going to show you to do it. There are many ways to do it. Come down here to the search bar, type ncpa.cpl, and click on the item here. And this shows you your network adapters. Now, this is a laptop with a wireless card and a wired network card. Okay, so I can plug a network cable in here and I can have Wi-Fi. So I have to choose which one of these I want to give the IP to. This computer could actually have multiple IPs. If you're on a computer like a desktop that's only wired, you just got one option. If you're on a laptop that only has wireless, then you've only got one option. For the sake of this, we'll set it on my wireless network connection. So highlight it, right click, select properties, come down here to Internet Protocol version 4, which is otherwise IPv4, double click. All right, to set static, you want to select this bubble right here and set an IP. Now, for instance, the IP of this computer, I already know it. Okay, I just happen to. I'll show you how to find it real quick. I have a video on that, how to find your IP. Oops. All right. I'm going to put this in, then I'm going to tell you what all this stuff is, okay? Oops. Okay. So if, for instance, I know that this is my IP address, so I'm just going to use it as my static IP. Oops. Jeez. All right. My IP address is .105. My subnet mask is the class C network. It ends in .0, so we're good there. My default gateway ends in 0.1. That's my router. Most likely that is your router. If you're in like a business and enterprise scenario, you might have a server, right, with the DHCP role installed. So that's very, very unlikely to be your case. Now for DNS server, these DNS servers are public IP addresses of Google's DNS servers. Millions and millions and millions of people use them. They're very fast. They're very reliable. Okay. I use them. If you don't tell your router which DNS servers to hand out to all the devices that connect, or you don't tell a computer or device what DNS servers to use, it will use your ISP's DNS servers, which is really not a bad thing. A lot of people like to hate on an ISP, like, there's some big corporation that just wants to screw you and burn you, which I don't think is the case necessarily. But I actually use OpenDNS servers. I just don't remember the IPs off the top of my head because they're long. Google's are really easy. So when you're done with these settings, go ahead and hit OK. Hit OK again. It's going to kind of validate the settings. It might even tell you something's wrong, which could be the case, maybe not. So the DNS server isn't responding, but I bet it is. Now here's what you want to do. Anytime you mess with IP settings, test it, okay? So try to run ping to something inside your network, not on the internet, like your router. See, it's returning my pings. So I know I've got a good connection to my LAN. And then I'm going to try to ping an internet website like ESPN. You can ping that too. Here's a little trick, unrelated. If you want to reissue the same command, just hit the up arrow. See, bam. And actually, you can even keep hitting the up arrow, and it'll cycle through up and down. It'll cycle through the commands you used last. Now, I don't want to leave a static IP, so I'm going to turn it back real quick. Come back exactly what we did before. Click obtain automatically. Obtain automatically. I'm good. Now, if you set a static IP, you got to understand that IP address, like if I took my .105 address and made that a static IP to this computer, my router doesn't know that. Okay. So in theory, my router could give that IP address to someone else and then have an IP conflict. So if you're going to use and make an IP address static that is within what's called the DHCP range, okay, or the scope, you've got to go in your router and you've got to tell your router about it so that your router does not give that IP address out, or you use an IP address that is outside of the DHCP range. This is pretty easy to find out. I should totally do a video on this. In fact, I'm going to. I'll show you how to do it. But this is how you set a static IP on Windows 7, 8, and 10.